Put your blinders on and focus. This is probably the hardest thing for young brands and entrepreneurs to do because there is so much distraction. You are looking for a silver bullet. You are looking for the easy way out. You are looking for some path that somebody else has taken that you can implement yourself to make everything easier because it is so hard. And in reality, there is no silver bullet. Nobody else on their journey can be applied to yours. It is a fool's errand. Chapter 7, the Undressed limited series podcast on the book. I'm Greg Vetter. We're going to be going through Chapter 7 a little bit and then the field guide lessons learned. Chapter 7 was when we crossed over into mainstream from a little brand with a little dream to a mainstream brand with our dreams coming true, and then trying to figure out how to leverage all of that to maintain the momentum that we thought that we had. And I think that that's interesting because your belief of momentum can be one thing. You gotta somehow figure out how to convince everybody else your momentum is real. And that's really what Chapter 7 was about. It was about crossing over, becoming real, becoming a mainstream brand, and then becoming all of the things that we had ever dreamt about. They all started coming to fruition. All these dreams started coming true. So how do you deal with that? And how do you continue the momentum? What you need to know. Listen to your customer before it's too late. The customer isn't always right, but when you hear one thing enough times, they may be onto something. Steve Jobs had a really interesting, famous interview where people said, do you ask people, do you do marketing surveys? And he said, how can people tell me what they want if it hasn't been invented yet? So for the longest time, I believed that, and I was pressing that for the world to see. We invented clean manufacturing. We're taking clean salad dressing to the world. We're trying to do all this wonderful stuff. But everybody kept saying, hey, the salad dressing is completely solidified and frozen. I can't get it out of the bottle. What's wrong with it? So I'm keeping this Steve Jobs thing in my head. I'm like, oh, they just don't know yet. They'll figure out that olive oil solidifies when it gets cold. And then we got a call from a buyer and they go, if you don't fix this problem, you're going to be out. And we got that call at the worst possible time imaginable when everything was on the line. Sometimes when you hear the same thing over and over and over and over again, you should probably fix it before it's too late. And yes, it's a tricky balance between not compromising and sticking to your guns and delivering the best possible experience imaginable. But you also need to analyze that downside risk before it's too late. What you need to know, anything is possible if you're crazy enough to believe it. I truly believe this. And I think that journey of building a salad dressing brand is an absolute testament to that, because salad dressing is dumb. It had never been cool. It's not sexy. It's not fun. It's not a lifestyle brand. And we were able to turn it into all of that through pure belief. That is all that we had. We had no manufacturing experience. We had no money. It was literally just belief. And if you are fully 100% dialed into your belief, and you can get everybody else to be unwavering in their support of your dream, you can pull off some miracles without a doubt. You just need to be prepared for them to come true. What you need to know, put your blinders on and focus. This is probably the hardest thing for young brands and entrepreneurs to do because there is so much distraction. You are looking for a silver bullet. You are looking for the easy way out. You are looking for some path that somebody else has taken that you can implement yourself to make everything easier because it is so hard. And in reality, there is no silver bullet. Nobody else on their journey can be applied to yours. It is a fool's errand. And you need to put your blinders on like a racehorse, and you need to focus on your goal, and you need to go until you cross the finish line. And that is really difficult once you cross over into PR, into winning awards, into retailers asking you to develop other products, into collaborations. So much of it feels like Nike getting into basketball shoes and then coming up with the Air Jordan that completely changed their trajectory forever and turned them into the biggest sports apparel brand on the planet. I was always looking for that Air Jordan, and I never found it. And in not having my blinders on, I was easily distracted, which took away my momentum and the energy required to get to the finish line as fast as possible. Now I created a filter, and the filter is a multi-step Q&A for myself, and I ask myself questions of, what is required to launch this from an investment perspective? What is the upside of this distraction? How many resources, people's time, dollars, additional manufacturing partners is it going to take to launch? And there's a series of questions that I ask myself that in the beginning stages of the journey, I didn't ask myself at all. I just was always looking for this Air Jordan. Having a filter that you think through, that gets vetted by somebody else, will be very helpful so that you can keep your blinders on. I think in the beginning stages, you're just looking for money. You're looking to keep the lights on and the doors open, and you're looking for payroll to happen. And so you're willing to literally do anything to make payroll. You're willing to have any distraction to potentially have enough money so that your brand can grow and everything survives. I think the joy component within the framework of your brand or product that you have is actually really important, because I think it's an indicator of where you can put your passion and you can focus on additional areas of growth. And I think that that's really important. Our packaging was really difficult in the beginning. We waxed every bottle. We literally went down to Lebanon County, Kentucky, and met with Maker's Mark, and they let us use their patented wax. We were hand waxing salad dressing bottles, millions of bottles. When people started copying our labels, we felt like it was time to do a packaging refresh, and we didn't know where to begin. And so I had a bunch of opinions on what I thought our consumer wanted. But in reality, when we hired a marketing agency and we did consumer testing on the packaging, everything we thought that they liked, they hated. Everything. The story on the bottle, the type of colors we had, the wax was really annoying. And so we got this feedback, and it blew my mind. And so we took that information of this millennial mom's deep dive into our packaging, And then we layered in our belief of what our brand should look like within those parameters. And we lit the world on fire. We won the Nielsen Design Impact Award. It increased our shelf sales by 300%. And it was the first time that everybody was in alignment of listening to feedback, taking it into consideration, putting it within the parameters of our brand and our company, and the results were unbelievably positive. So that was probably the greatest, outside of our formula change, that was the greatest consumer feedback we had ever received that we implemented. So if you get your product and packaging right, you literally can flip a switch and light the world on fire. I did not obviously understand or believe that in the beginning stages, because for years we had just been slogging it out, running through the muck, hand dipping every bottle in wax, fighting the good fight. And then the next thing you know, we've got clean labels with different bright colors, with beautiful visual food icons on there, no wax, it's easy to open, it's easy to pour out, and we just lit the world on fire. So understanding how quickly that can change, that you can live into what the consumer wants and give them what they want and have success from doing that, completely changed my perspective of the significance of quality of product, giving it to the right consumer, and then having the right packaging for the right consumer. And now as we design brands and packaging and products, all of those experiences get wrapped up into how we develop stuff today. One of our core values was treat the customer how you want to be treated, because we are the customer. And so I think one of the most intelligent things that I did was I made my wife, Genevieve, the chief marketing officer of the business. And this isn't just brownie points for her, but she was our consumer. She was the millennial mom. And so instead of having a boardroom of me and my brothers and Mo thinking about what does the millennial mom want, we just asked her to bring all of the people she knew, all of the trends she followed, all of the things she thought were cool, and we implemented them into the brand. She was a mom. She obviously still is a mom. At the time, I think maybe only had 2 kids, now 4. So was always at the forefront of nutrition and health, protecting her family, wanting more for the kids, wanting more for her family, trying to be the best version of herself. And so then when she reached out to bloggers and influencers and chefs and recipe developers, she was speaking their language. And so everybody that participated in our brand and in our partnerships was fully in to the target demographic, because everything that was happening was a representation of the actual group we were going after. So I think that that was really important, because I can have all the opinions I want in the world, but we weren't going after me. We were going after the millennial mom, and we wanted to give her a product that she could be proud of and that she could give to her family and feel really good about. So I think that that was very, very important. How do you not be too mono-focused? Well, I don't know if I figured that out yet. I think I am too mono-focused. I am too hyper-focused. And sometimes, I think it's a Robert Frost quote, each man kills the thing he loves. I think I have white-knuckle gripped things too hard because I was too focused on making them happen, which sometimes when you're too deep, you're bringing too many solutions to the table before some of the solutions you've already implemented can fully come to fruition. And so what I've had to learn to do in my later years is really let go and be okay with the solutions that I've implemented to fully reach their mature life cycle and just keep my ear to the ground. And so do I have an answer for being too hyper-focused? I certainly do not. But I will say the blinders and the goal are a great visual, because if it's the goal without blinders, you're going to try and find every solution to help you get to that goal too fast, and you're not going to allow the solution you have already implemented to come to fruition so that you can actually reach the finish line. What I have found for white-knuckle gripping is you don't have unwavering faith in the journey. You think you can control it and you can fix it and you can solve it, and your prayers are not going to be answered, and you must take unbelievable amounts of Herculean effort and action every single day to make your dreams come true. And in my later years, I have literally let go because I have had all of my greatest fears realized. My greatest fear was the fear of failure, or the fear of shame from failure. Well, I had that happen. It continues to happen anytime I white-knuckle grip it. And anytime I let go and I put my faith in the journey and I put it on God's timeline, it comes when it's supposed to come. Having the discipline and the courage and the bravery to do that is something I'm still working on, because it is unbelievably scary to have an understanding of all of your obligations and not be in control of the tactical problem solving on a daily basis. And so if I had to sum up that entire answer, I would simply say, if you white-knuckle grip it, you're going to kill it. And if you let go and you operate off of God's timeline, it's going to work in your favor.